Hi, you're listening to Fate 40 and Beyond. I am Jen. I am the owner of Soulful Existence, where I do one-on-one readings with different people across the world. I do tarot card, astrology, mediumship, and energy cleansings. But today's podcast is all about a tarot card reading with an everyday, regular woman. And I have a guest on today, Brandi. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
Okay, hi. Yeah, I'm Brandi. I'm American, but I live in France. It's been 20 years since I've been living in
Wow.
France. And the story of the move and everything, that was a whole adventure. Every time I think that I have sort of figured things out over here, there's a new challenge that pops up, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, gonna try to figure out this new thing, I guess. I've been living in France. I am the quintessential foreigner in another country. So I'm 49. I just
Age
had my
range?
birthday. Yeah, 49. I just turned
Okay.
49. So I'm almost 50 in this mess. And well,
Yeah.
here we are.
How about, do you have any kids? Do you have
Oh, right. Yeah,
any
yeah. I
family?
do have one. Yes, there is one. I almost forgot about it. As I have a 15-year-old son who
Wow.
is bilingual and has double nationality, and he's really
That's
smart, but he's also
incredible.
a teenager who's lazy. So,
Right. Yeah, well, I think teenagers are pretty universal across the world.
yeah,
They have very similar experiences wherever they're at.
yes, they all dress the same. Whichever one of them decided to style, that's how they all dress. And now when I
Yeah.
go down the street, I'm like, is that my son? Is that my son? Like literally every teenage boy looks like my son. I'm just like, okay. I have
That's so
I have
funny.
a I have a partner. So over here in France where there's marriage and then there's like this marriage light option that exists
Yeah.
in some states, but not all the states. It's not a
Yeah.
federal, it's like a civil partnership situation.
Yeah.
So I just for English speakers I call him my husband, but it's like we're not technically married, but that's just how it is over here. They just accept it.
We're the same way. We live together. We are on each other's cars, financially. We do everything together. We're married in the sense of he is my partner.
Right.
But we both have had previous marriages that we're just like, why does a piece of paper have to dictate who
Exactly.
we love? That's not how it goes for us.
Oh,
So I
over
get it.
here we did the whole civil partnership thing. Speaking of paperwork, the most unromantic 10 minutes in an office ever. Like
That's so funny.
it was like literally
Well,
just like bureaucratic paperwork.
yeah. Well, and that's my view on a marriage license, which is hilarious because I'm actually an officiant. So I do marry people and I sign their marriage license, but at the same time I don't feel like that will make my relationship any more real,
It
you
doesn't.
know?
It's not real.
Right. And I think ultimately it just creates more I'm realistic. Like there's a lot of relationships that don't work and no one gets together with the intention of breaking up, but
Nope.
I do feel like it's a possibility. Divorce is a lot of extra steps.
Yes. This civil partnership situation, basically if we decide we don't want to do that anymore, we go back to that same office and we're like,
Yeah.
okay, we would like to sign the papers saying we unsigned those first papers, basically. It's just more paperwork we
That's
got to do.
crazy. Yeah. Well, that's interesting though. I've never heard, like you said, marriage light. That's so funny. Like to have, it's still a legal proceeding, but it's
Yes.
not a
It's not
marriage,
a
which
no. But then
I'm
again,
gonna have to look.
the laws on marriages over here are very different. Like, for example, in the United States, you can, for example, you can get married in a church, a mosque, a temple, whatever you want,
Right.
right? And then the person who is the officiant sends paperwork to the town
Right.
hall or whatever. Over here,
Yeah.
they don't believe in that. There is the separation of church and state is so strict that if you are
Oh,
religious and you want to get married in a church, a temple, a mosque, whatever, you have to first go to the city hall and get married in the city hall, and then you can have your religious ceremony.
wow. Okay.
It's
Well,
like the religious ceremony
interesting.
doesn't mean anything for the state over
Yeah.
here. And so, but this
Well,
thing is like a state mandated partnership deal that was put into place historically for gay couples. It was the thing that they presented back in the 70s for gay couples.
yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, not
So,
this
I
one.
mean, but I like that there's another option for people who aren't necessarily ready for a whole whole marriage.
Yep. It's much easier, much less paperwork, much less to do. It's just like, huh,
Let's go ahead and get into the reading. You've said that you have never had a reading before. And
never.
so I want to explain a little bit of what to expect.
Please.
So to me, tarot is a very symbolic practice. The cards themselves don't hold any special powers. It's not a portal to anything. I've heard that before. You do tarot cards, it's a
What?
portal to all kinds of weird stuff.
Okay.
It's not. The way that it works for me, and I'm a very intuitive reader, is I look at the cards and I see images in my head. I feel emotion. I feel kind of like what the energy is like, and I hear words. So then my job is to put it all together into a message that makes sense and tell you about it.
Okay. Okay.
There's also, a lot of people have like very traditional meanings for tarot cards,
Okay.
and each card, can mean something different. Each of the numbers means something different. It goes 1 through 10, and then there's a page, a knight, queen, and king in each suit, and there's
Huh.
4 suits. So they all mean something different. I am always fascinated in learning more about it, but I've always read very intuitively. So I don't
I'm
do those
learning everything
traditional.
right now.
Yeah, so I don't do those traditional meanings all the time. Sometimes it's very obvious when it means something that's associated with the traditional meaning, and I'll go with that. But I could read 2 people back to back, and their reading could have the same exact cards, but totally different energy for me.
Got-
That's how I read. What you can expect is, as I put down the cards and those thoughts and pictures come up in my head, I'll start to tell you some of the energy that I feel around where you're at right now.
Okay.
And the topics that come up, we can just discuss, we can have a conversation about whatever pops up. All right, I'm going to start pulling a few
Okay.
cards. There's there's a feeling of let's see, how do I word this? It's almost like cabin fever, a feeling like you're cooped up right now. Is the weather? I mean, it gets cold there, right?
Yeah, it gets cold. It has been mighty rainy. Like we've had some meteorological phenomenon that have caused like
Yeah.
roads to be flooded and blocked. So it's one of those like, to go where I want to go, I would have to like take a huge detour. So I'll just stay home.
Right.
Right.
That's yeah. But it feels like a little antsy, a little, not want to say claustrophobic in the sense of like causing anguish, but it does feel like you're just ready for spring. Like you're just ready to be outside again.
Well,
And
also
it feels a
spring
little
in a physical sense, I'm ready. And also there's a decision that we're waiting on as a couple that'll come in March. And so this might
okay.
also be a different spring, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's exactly how this works. It feels like, yeah, like anticipation for that time of year. So that's exactly what it
Yeah.
could be.
This I swear
Yeah.
this time of year, starting about mid-December or whatever, maybe beginning of December. Yeah, this year was beginning of December. I hate this time of year. The only thing
It's
that's good
rough.
is like my birthday. Yeah, I hate it. It's like dark and cold and I hate
Yeah.
it. And it's like
I feel like this last winter has been really tough.
I
Yep.
just kind of good just shut down. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just like
That's what my husband says. He grew up in Florida, and so he's like, I literally don't know how to move in this cold weather. And it's been freezing in Georgia. Like today it's snowing.
up in the south part of Georgia. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, same.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you're familiar. It's crazy. But
It's like the
it's been more
apocalypse.
cold.
There's
What's
no more.
that?
I said it's the apocalypse in the South. There's no bread. There's no milk. There's no toilet paper.
We had back-to-back weekends like this, and it's just been exhausting. Like,
Uh,
we're good, but everyone else is freaking out. But, okay, so this decision coming up, I do feel like, I don't wanna say that it's like a catastrophic type of decision if it doesn't go the way you think it's going to. It just feels very momentous. Like, it feels
oh
like
yeah,
a
the decision. It's not our decision. Basically, it's one of those things where you request a thing and then you wait.
oh, okay, so you're, like, waiting for the
Yes,
answer,
and the answer
waiting
will
for the response.
come in March. And if the answer is yes, absolutely, momentous changes everywhere. If the answer is
Yeah, it
no,
does
we're
feel
going
like
to just
that.
stay here, and I'm probably going to feel more cooped up.
Is it let's see, what's coming through is e there it's, like, flip-flopping between, like, higher education or a lot of, we're talking about, like, legal paperwork, red tape type of thing is what it's feeling like. Is that what it is?
Oh, well, the red tape, it's like, okay, so in the French system, certain jobs, like for example, jobs like police officer or teacher, or a lot of jobs you can request to get transferred from wherever you are to somewhere else. And like you can request every single year. You might never get approved, but you can request. And
Gotcha.
so this
So
is
is
a,
that what's going on?
yeah, it's a transfer request and we're waiting on the answer. And if we get it
Just
great,
waiting.
yeah, we're just waiting.
Yeah.
And this is probably the fourth year we've made the request.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's been like, oh,
So yeah, that's interesting. I love that. It just sounds like a really cool, way to explore more of the country and
yes,
not necessarily be stuck in one place.
right. But the thing is that being stuck in one place, like I've really been good in this area of France for 20 years. And this is probably
Yeah.
the first year where I'm just like, oh God, over it, done it, been there. It's just like I don't even want to go anywhere or see like I don't want to do anything right now because I'm just like
Right.
I'm
See, and that's yeah, that goes back to that first card, that feeling of just kinda like
like
just feeling stuck, like stagnant almost.
yeah.
That feeling of wanting it's almost like a restlessness of wanting to do something and not being able to. So
And
that's
also not
probably also
knowing what
this
to do. Like, it's like not being
yeah.
able to do it, and also I don't really have a direction yet. Like, I feel like I'm just kind of floating in the void.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else is popping up about this. Um, so it does feel like almost I wanna say how do I say that? Like, internally, it feels like you've made the decision that this change will be better for you somehow. And now it's like trying your mind is almost trying to wrap around what will happen if. What will happen if we move? What will it be like? What do I need to prepare? How do I need to
Oh, yeah, the what ifs
go
are all over the place.
yeah, what are all the steps? And that's I think it doesn't feel like inner turmoil, it just feels like mind kind of already moving ahead and not quite the situation hasn't quite caught up yet.
Turmoil sounds traumatic. It's not turmoil.
Right.
It's just like it's like, eh, eh. It's like if I had that emoji just like, every single
Yeah.
day when I look, I'm like, "What are we doing?" I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I think also when I hear the word turmoil in the sense that I guess the feeling that's coming through is almost like when you dive into water and you're spinning around and you don't quite know which way is up, like
right.
that's how it feels. It's
That's
just
kinda
kind of like I
funny.
don't really know where to go from here. I don't
That's
really
true.
know what my next step is.
And especially with my job, like, I feel like my personal life is pretty solid, and my job right
Yeah.
now is kinda like, eh. Like, I'm not
Mm,
enjoying my actual job anymore because France has some pretty cool laws. I had been afforded, like, a work leave, and during this work leave, I'm like, "Okay, what am I" like, I can't just sit around and, like, scroll on social media. I gotta do something.
right. Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
was like I'm like, "But what do I want to do?" And that's where I'm just like, I don't even know what I
Okay.
want."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That comes up a lot in the
Yeah.
women that I talk to. Because especially if they're at a period of transition
Mhm.
where, this could be looked at as that your son is a little bit older, he doesn't necessarily need you as much. There's a lot of almost loss of identity. And I used to do this for the family, and
Right.
now that's not necessarily needed. And then the job shift for you can also lead to just this like, who am I? What do I like? What do I enjoy?
Well, it's funny because it's like I have started to go back to some things that I know that I used to really enjoy, and even that is kinda like I'm like, "Well, this is okay, but it's not like, giving me life." You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's one of those where it's like, I felt the transition coming on, like, December-ish, like, literally end of November, beginning of December, I was like, "Oh, this fucking sucks." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh." I was like, "I need to stop and I need to think about some stuff." And so I stopped, and then my husband was like, "So what are you doing?" I was like, "Right now, I'm literally just gonna sit here and see what happens." Uh, like, it's like
I
the transition isn't clear, so I don't know what to do. So I'm just like waiting
Right.
on something to happen. I'm just like vacillating.
It's so funny that you say that because it almost feels like, when you tell little kids, "If you get lost, stay where you're at.
Right.
Don't go explore more," and that kind of is the feeling that I get from that, is
Oh, that's
almost
a good
like,
way to look at it. Huh.
yeah, there's not if there's not a clear path out there for
Stay
you,
safe.
you yeah, like, you're not making things worse, you're just kinda waiting for the better option.
Yeah.
That's the I think that's the key. Okay, so let's read into maybe what's coming up for you or where to find that, I wanna say, like, life purpose, because it doesn't feel like it's it doesn't feel like you're searching for the meaning of life. It just is like what's gonna be fulfilling right now, like,
Right.
what's gonna
Yeah.
make you wanna get out of bed. That's
Yeah.
how it feels.
Right now,
Okay.
the things I will admit the things I'm just like, what do I have to do? Like, what do
Yeah.
I have to I'm not like, yay, I get to get up and go do this amazing thing today. I'm just like, okay, what do I have to accomplish today? It's like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I
Check
do
off the
it.
list.
Yeah, I
Yep.
do it. And then I'm like, okay, there, I did all that stuff. Now what?
Yeah. What's funny is I often tell myself to romanticize my life. I've heard people joking about going to, like, the convenience store and picking out a drink, and it's like, "The elixir of life that I'm choosing today," like, kinda making everything really extreme,
Okay.
fantasy world type of thing, and a lot of people, I think, would feel living in France would be very romantic,
True.
and you could romanticize your life easily there, but to hear we have this and we are talking about earlier, the teenagers have the same universal experience. It sounds like we do too. You get
Oh
to a
yeah,
point in life where there's
absolutely.
shift and it's not any easier if you're in a more magical place. I think more than anything, it's like finding something that clicks with you
I
rather
will
than
admit that
seeking out.
I do have to remind myself that the place, the physical geography of the place, it is beautiful, it is magical, and I do have to sometimes like sort of not literally, but um slap myself and be like, look at where you are. Stop being so negative. Stop it. Like I sometimes have to
Yeah,
remind myself very sternly, like, look. And then I remind myself like where I came from. I'm like, okay, stop it. You're making things worse than they need to be. Like, stop it.
right.
Like, look at
Yeah,
this beautiful mountain. Yes, it's covered with snow, and no, you're not going up there because a boulder fell in the road, but you can see
right.
it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you get to look at it. I know I've been to in Europe, I guess, Norway is the
Mhm.
furthest it's like that's where we've gone, and every time I'm there, I love it and I fall in love with it, and it feels magical in every way, and I just know that if I were there full time, yeah, it's
Like,
going to feel the same as everywhere
yeah, you
else.
still have to go buy toilet paper, you know? It's like,
That's so true. But I think that's true for so many things in our lives too. Relationships or jobs. I saw someone that posted the other day was like, water your grass so much that you don't even notice how green the other grass is. And it's like taking care of what you
right.
have so well that there's no desire to look elsewhere. And I think that goes for all situations, That's
Oh,
one of
absolutely.
those things. Yeah.
Um, how did I see it? I heard it put one way. It was like gratitude. If you have gratitude for the things that you do have, like basically it's the cup half full, cup half empty situation.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I've
like
heard
stop
that one
looking at
too.
what you like. I needed to stop looking at what I was feeling was going wrong right now and start looking around like, okay, I have a partner that loves me. I have my kid. Even though he's surly and 15, he does still need me and love me. And I have a beautiful place where I live, and also I have accidentally, because there's a lot of Americans that are leaving the U.S. right now, I found
Yeah.
myself in this weird position of being the local guru, like person,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
random. Because I'm like I don't know everything, but it's like they're like we don't even know where to start, and I'm like, wait, I got you.
Yeah. That's interesting. Is that like a business opportunity?
But see, that's the thing. That's why when
You know what I mean?
I started sitting still and just being like, okay, what is going on? And then these folks, like, okay, I made a couple of like, I went to like a coffee morning meetup with all the Anglophones
Yeah.
in the region, and so I met a few people, and then that turned into them contacting me to ask me questions, and then I was like, huh, it's like I'm not married to this job, like the job that I have. I was like, I'm in it by accident. I feel like my entire life is like
Right.
one giant accident that just like led me here. But
Yeah.
I do it and it's fine. The job was always fine, and sometimes I really
Right.
did like it. And this year is the first year I'm like, no, in fact, this sucks. I hate this job. And then I can't
Do
figure
you
out what
think
my
also,
options,
because like something else that's popping up in the reading is almost like, how do I word this so? The seeking out the challenge. So if you've gotten to a place in your job that it's not a challenge anymore, it's just mundane, like you know what to expect, you know what to go in, that's making it not fun anymore.
Right.
Do you think that could be like part of it?
Well, yes and no, but then this year the job threw me a huge curveball as well. It's like it has gotten to where I know what to do, but it is never mundane because each and every day is totally different. Like
Gotcha.
I don't have a mundane job. But this year, my job just like threw me a huge curveball in the sense of they put me in a place where I didn't know what to do. And I started it like, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, okay, I don't have a
Yeah.
clue what's going on in this situation. And it was like halftime, I was, uh, for half my hours, I was doing a thing that I knew how to do, that I knew the people, I knew how it functions. And the other half of my hours were in a totally new place with totally new people and a totally new functioning system.
Yeah.
And I was like, for like 2 months, I was like, I got this, I got this. And then one day I was just like, I actually don't got this. I hate this. I hate everything about it. And I'm going
Yeah.
to stop now. And so, yeah,
I was thinking it's very Gen X of you to be like, "Now we're good. I got it. I'll figure it
uh,
out."
totally.
You know? But then also I think those of us in that age range are getting to a point where like, why? Why are we stressing ourselves out
Why
for
am I
something?
forcing?
Right. Yeah. I think it's like a new revelation that we don't have to force this stuff. Growing up, we're told push through it, push through it. You
Yeah,
can do
it's
this. Like
garbage,
figure it
garbage advice.
out. Yeah, and then now we're like, "Wait, no one's like, we get to decide whether we're pushing through it or not. We
Yeah.
get to be the ones to make that decision." And I think so many of us are, like, pulling back on things that don't feel right anymore.
Right. Yeah,
I
because
because
for me, it feels
I've
like
done
I've been
that.
trying to force, those toys for little children where it's like there's a square and a triangle and circle and they
Yeah,
got a little thing. I'm like,
yeah.
I've just been trying to shove the square into the circle hole for like a hot minute now, and it's not working.
One of my granddaughters, so I have 2 granddaughters and a grandson here, and one of the granddaughters, she was, like, very patient, figuring it out. She'll try a bunch of different holes, just nonstop, like, "I'm gonna get this." The other one, tries it 1, 2 times, and then she'll throw the block.
Yes, that's me. I have just
Like,
literally thrown
that's
the
where
whole
I'm at.
toy at the wall. It has exploded, and I've just left the pieces on the floor. I'm like, nope, not happening.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that we're finally deciding, like, my nervous system isn't okay with this. I need to stop doing it and then making that decision to do so because for so long we were burning ourselves out. I
Mm,
want to say like we as like a collective women of this age range burning
yes.
ourselves out constantly because we were told to push through and now we don't have to do that. Like it's nice.
Yes, nobody's making me do anything. It's great. And like, yes, my husband can like politely suggest things, and I'll just be like, no, I don't wanna.
I think I finally trained mine. 'Cause he would ask or he would imply, he's like, "Okay, I took the dishes out of the dishwasher." I was like, "Okay, good job."
You want a sticker?
But his right. But his intention was, "Hey, can you now load it with what's in the sink?" And so I finally told him, I was like, "I don't get that. To me, you have to be very direct. Do
Yeah.
you mind putting the dirty dishes in there now? Like, I just did this. Do you mind doing the next step?" And so the other day and I could feel, like, his energy was very kind of like tiptoeing to me. And
Uh-huh.
he goes, "Hey, do you think maybe if you feel like it, could you put the dishes away?"
All the qualifiers. Let me soften this. She might not be in a good mood.
And I don't want to be that person that is so reactive if you say something, but I mean, like, some days I am so overstimulated with the world around me. Go to work and it's like nonstop mental stuff, and I get home and I'm physically exhausted from the mental stuff at work. And then my husband is like, "Hey, let's do this, let's do this, let's do I'm like, "Whoa, hold on.
Girl,
Let me
tell me about the
let me rest."
overstimulation. I know that because I have to do most of every single day in a different language. And
Oh
sometimes
gosh,
I
yeah.
I have my colleagues, especially since I'm not at work right now, some of them have been sending me real nice, very nice messages like, "Hey, noticed you haven't been here. Are you okay? Like,
You're right.
if you want to get a
That's
drink and
nice.
talk." Oh, it is real nice. I mean, they're very nice people. And I appreciate it. But they're offering like if you want to have a coffee and have a chat, and I'm like, absolutely not. Love you, appreciate you. That was very kind of you. Don't want to talk to you.
Are you more of an introvert or an
Oh,
extrovert?
absolutely. I'm the introvert that has learned how to be an extrovert for
Yeah.
certain situations. The time where I feel like basically if I'm overloaded, I'm like, you all need to get out of my face. I'm going into this
Yeah.
corner over here. Nobody talk
Yeah.
to me. And
No, when I
yeah.
yeah, 100%. Last weekend, we were snowed in. It was supposed to snow in, we didn't, and my husband and I were home Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday together, and finally by, like, Sunday and he watches the news nonstop, and
Mine too.
I
We
don't have
right.
TV on. Like, I don't watch TV. Maybe will put music on, but for the most part, if it's just me at home,
Yeah.
I don't have anything on in the background. And so I finally put my headphones on. He goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I don't want to hear the weather report anymore. I don't want to
I don't want to
hear
hear
you
people
talking
saying
to the
like all
dog
the stuff
anymore."
going wrong in the world.
Yeah,
Ugh.
right. And he's gotten to a place where it's like, "Are you okay if I watch this right now?" Because I do have a very sensitive spirit. Like I do have a very sensitive reaction to a lot of the more negative news on TV. And so he knows I'm not always in the best place to listen to that. And for the most part, he'll ask or will understand if I ask him to change it. Like I
Okay.
don't he also watches a lot of like guitar YouTube videos. I'm like, I don't care, put on the stupid guitar videos.
Uh, so that's why one of our solutions to that pretty much exact scenario is that we
Yeah.
don't have an actual TV. He watches the TV channels he likes and the shows he likes on his computer, and that way
Yeah.
he can carry the computer around with him, get it out of my
Yeah.
face if I'm losing my mind, and then he can plug his headphones into it if really he needs
Uh-huh.
to. And this is one of those, it's like, this is a strange solution, but he loves his TV. And back before we lived together, he had an apartment where he had the TV and it was on all the time. And I used to want to throw it out the window. Like, turn
Yep.
this shit off. I can't
Yeah.
handle it. So, yes,
Yeah.
our solution is he watches it on the TV, on the computer instead of the TV, and that way. Also, a good thing is all of his shows are in French, and so for
Oh,
me,
nice.
I can go to a headspace where it just sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. It's just like blah 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 blah. Blah. I don't really hear it anymore. So
That's awesome. Are you fairly fluent now?
yeah, I'm fluent. I'm a
Yeah,
fluent
because after 20
speaker.
years, I would imagine. Yeah.
Not
That's
everybody.
awesome.
But like me, because I needed to work, and you cannot work here if you don't speak French. Like you just can't. Which
Yeah.
that makes sense. It's I'm actually perfectly fine with that. Some people move here and they don't speak French, and they think that they're going to be able to get a job like waiting
Right.
tables in a touristy
Right.
area. But you must
That's
speak
not how it
French.
goes.
No, they are very like culturally, they love
Yeah.
talking all the time.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
can't fit in with their talking, then they don't talk to you.
That makes me feel like the Hispanic community also does that in Mexico. I've spent time in Mexico off and on for vacations, and people assume that I speak Spanish, and I do not. I'm
Oh,
like
okay.
barely on level whatever on Duolingo. Like I'm trying to learn,
You've got a 7-day
but
streak.
right, it was not something I was brought up with,
Okay.
and it's funny when I go down there and people just assume I can hold a conversation, and I'm, like, asking, like, "Donde está el baño? Where's the bathroom?" Like, that's where it stops.
Okay.
I can understand a lot more, but yes, like, it's very focused on, I don't wanna say, like, socializing necessarily, but, like, connection,
Hmm.
talking to people and finding out about them, where they're at, how what they enjoy, that and food, I think is also the other thing. Food and talking is huge down there,
Yeah,
so
the
it's
food is
similar.
definitely very important here as well. French food,
Yeah,
it's like no all over the world. What really shocked me when I first moved here was the fact that, for example, if you're invited to someone's house for dinner in America, there's going to be maybe some activities or like we're doing something. We're not just sitting at the
yeah,
table for like 4 hours. And the French
yeah,
family will. You're invited over and you sit and you talk and you eat. And it's like if you can't
yeah.
talk, then makes for a really
That
long
sounds
dinner.
and that sounds a lot like my experience growing up with a Mexican family. If there's food on the table, you just sit around and you hang out and you just
Yes.
chat, whatever under the sun, laugh. There's probably a lot of drinks. There's probably a lot of,
Oh, they're
laughter
very
towards the
specific.
end.
They're very
Yeah.
specific about the drinks. Like this is like they'll bring out like this goes with this. This is the drink that goes
Yeah.
with this food. This is the drink that goes with this food. It's not like just drinking willy-nilly. Like it's so many
That's
food rules. So many food rules.
that's crazy. But I also okay, so I am sober, right? Like I've been
Mhm.
sober for 7 years and I find that it's so acceptable here in the United States just to drink whatever alcohol whenever people, there's just such a wide, I don't want to say push for it, but it's just one of those things everyone drinks. But then to hear about another country who is very specific about
Yes.
those, like it's very intentional drinking.
Yes.
And people always want to say, "Oh, well, other countries drink much younger and other countries it's more acceptable."
But the rules are
But
very
like
different.
I said, there's yeah, that makes me really kinda consider,
So,
if that's why it's a little bit more acceptable there.
well, okay. So basically, the point of alcoholic beverages. I'm granted, there's alcoholics exist in France that it's a
Oh, sure.
thing. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
like typically, culturally, French people view any alcoholic beverage as going with some specific food. Like, you don't just
yeah,
drink a bottle of wine to get drunk. That's not the point.
right.
This wine goes with, like, red wine goes with cheese and meat, like red meat.
Yeah,
And if you're eating fish, you need a certain kind of white wine. Are you eating a sugary dessert? You need this kind of dessert wine. If you know what I mean? Like,
right,
so it's like they do it. It's very intentional. It goes with certain food, and that does make it less, I guess getting drunk isn't the point. Do you know what I mean? Like drinking
right.
just to finish the bottle. I've seen French people leave like literally 3 sips of wine in the bottom of a bottle and put it in their cabinet. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with that? And I have the
That's so
problem
funny.
where it's like you can't if you're almost finished with a thing, you must finish it.
Right.
Be it
Yeah,
food and over here, French people, when they have, like, dinner parties, and they have, like, little snacks on little plates, just imagine, I don't know, something that's like, I don't know, like pigs in the blanket, something like this, some little tiny
yeah,
little thing, just they don't
right,
do that, but, just imagine. The
right.
very
I could
last
not have that that would
they
be
don't
so
do that.
funny. That
Freeze pigs in the blanket. But, they will leave the last one on the plate. Nobody will touch it, and it will sit there, like, all the rest of the dinner party, there'll be 1 pig in a blanket left on the plate. And every single plate of tiny food, there will be the last one will be left. And
yeah, that's
and
crazy.
and in America,
Like
it's
an
like, "Somebody
unspoken
finish that."
rule.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
unspoken rule, and I learned so I finally asked them, I was like, "So what's this about? Because I've noticed that you all do this. It's like some kind of cultural rule, and I don't know about it, so please explain."
right.
I'm copying y'all. I'm not touching it either, but I don't know why. I got a few different theories, and one of the harsher theories, they were like, the last piece of anything is it's and the language c'est la part du con. It's like, the the piece for the dumbass. It's like the
Uh,
dumbass's piece. And I'm like, what?
interesting.
I was like, that's harsh and
Yeah.
unnecessary. And like, they just don't eat the last one. And I tried to explain to them that in American culture, you try to help out the host or the hostess by finishing the things. And they were like, what? And
That's so funny.
yeah, and they said to me, they were like, well, that's nice of you to not want to leave. I was like, because imagine the host then has to put away one of everything left on the plate. It's very
Or throw it
annoying.
away, and that's
Yeah,
also
wants it
considered
right away,
wasteful.
right?
So
So
that translation that you gave, like, that's to me, it feels like the person who does eat that would be considered, like, socially inept. They don't know what
exactly
they're doing. So not necessarily, like, a stupid person, but just someone who's not paying attention to the
true,
surroundings. They're not aware. And I think that's really interesting to think about because I do know people who have been in group settings and they're just, like, the first one to fill up the plate, and then they go back for seconds, and meanwhile, other people haven't eaten.
right.
That's how that feels to me, and
That
so
is
that makes
exactly right.
sense that you would just leave it
Well,
because
I
you don't
was
wanna
just
be that
excited
person.
because I'm not, I'm always like super worried. Big social settings are not my jam. So
Right.
I was just like in the corner observing, like, what is everybody doing here? And then at one point there was like some kind of little quiche thing, and the quiche is like cut in triangles, and somebody went up to it and looked at it, and then cut that last piece in half to leave another piece smaller. And I was like, "What? They're really not gonna eat that piece? Like,
That's
it was small already, and they cut it in half because, you do not dare take the last piece of something." And
right.
it's just like one of those where I was like,
That's
That's weird." But their theory
wow.
is like, I think you're right. Maybe that's why I kind of, thought about it twice because I was like, "I don't know how to translate this word correctly." But it's like,
Right.
I know in Spanish they use coño and coña. It's like you're a little bit
Yeah.
stupid or but,
Awesome. I love that. But, yeah, I love how you're investigative about the culture
yeah,
and trying
yeah.
to fit in rather than, forcing your own American ways on the
Mhm.
people
I
around
can't
you because that's not gonna
who am
fit.
I to tell a
That's
whole
not gonna
country
work.
of people what to do or how to do it?
Yeah.
And also, I always want to fit in, but I sort of never have and never do. Like, I always now like,
Right.
I'm much taller than most French women. I don't like apparently this face right here looks German. The number of German tourists that have come up to me in France and spoken German to me looking for stuff
Yeah.
and want me to help them, I'm like, I'm not.
That's crazy.
So I was like,
That's
I already don't fit
interesting.
in. I don't fit in here already. Like, just this doesn't fit in
Right.
here.
I've never actually considered that because, yeah, America is such a melting pot of so many different cultures. There's not a distinct American look
No.
other than like clothing or behavior.
Yes.
That's a
Socks and
learned
sandals
experience.
and putting
Right.
mayonnaise on the wrong things.
But to go to another country and to have a very specific look
Mm.
in those regions is interesting to me. I just never really considered that. Even when I was in Norway or even Iceland, it I didn't, which I am sure I did stick out because my hair is very dark compared to most people there, or my skin is darker than most people there. But I also did see people who look like me. I don't feel like I stuck out, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think now of that experience. And maybe I wasn't there long enough. Maybe it wasn't something I was looking for at the time. But that's interesting to think about. I just never really considered that. So
The
I've
only place I feel like I stuck out more was that one time I went to Mexico and I was like I took the subway in Mexico City, which apparently is very dangerous. I did not know that at the time. I survived.
oops.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry. Later on when I told somebody, they were like, "You did what?" I
Yeah.
was like, and the way I stuck out on that subway, I swear, like they were afraid of me because I had no business being there and I did not
Right.
belong. Like they'd like
That makes
they
sense.
like went around me and that like the on the train nobody sat on the two spots directly next to me and I was like, okay. I was like, do I smell? What's going on? They're just like, what's she
That's
doing here?
hilarious.
She doesn't belong
That
here.
Like, if you're brave enough to get on there when you know you don't belong, there's something wrong with you, you know?
Well, I think it was just I don't know if it was I don't think it was bravery. I didn't feel brave. I just felt like I got to get
Sure.
from this space to this space, and this is how I'm going to do it.
I tend to be very touristy when I'm down there, so I don't go super,
Oh,
super deep into much of Mexico. I don't know. It's just,
oh, I get adventurous. I'll be like, where are the locals eating? And I'll like follow random strangers and see which restaurant they go into. Like, are there any
yeah.
tourists in there? No, then that's where I'm eating. Can I understand anything? Maybe not.
I do have a desire to go more places and experience more cultures. I think the only thing that's holding me back is time and money.
Those are
That's the
hard.
only reason I can't go. But I love I love seeing how other people are their day to day, like just how they how they live. Let's see. Okay, what else is coming up in this reading? There is a feeling of like really tapping into playfulness and like learning how to have fun without an obligation of being productive.
Yes,
Does that make sense?
that makes perfect
That's
sense.
hard.
I
Yeah,
have
that's hard
no
for me.
desire to be productive right now. I was like
Well, then that makes sense perfectly for you.
yeah. I think about the things that I need to do sometimes, like, oh, I really need to fill out this paperwork, or like, oh, like I just sent my passport off to get renewed, and it was like, literally, it's not that hard. You fill out some papers, you send it in the
Right.
mail, you like, and I was like, oh, I gotta do that. Like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I don't
There's
wanna.
the other day, one of my doctors asked me to go get lab work done,
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably 3 weeks ago. Putting it off because who wants to go do that? Like, that
What do?
did not sound fun to me. And then I realized I have my follow-up appointment coming up next month or next week, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I should go do that thing." It took 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and I was in and out. The worst part was walking to and from my car in the parking garage. Like, it was not a big deal, but I had put it off for so long. I'm really hoping that my results aren't done by the time I have my appointment because I pushed it out so far. But why is it that we do that? Like, come on. It's so easy to do some of this stuff sometimes.
Sometimes, yes, but it's just like I think it's like when little kids like pitch a fit and they fold their arms like, no, I don't wanna. And it's like, what? It's like a just
Yeah,
pitch in a fit. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
That's what it feels like to
No,
me
I agree.
sometimes. Like, I just don't wanna.
The thing that I've deduced for myself is if it does not bring some sort of like dopamine in doing it or completing the task, I don't wanna do it.
Game over.
I just don't want it. Yeah, I'm like, there's no motivation to do something that I'm not gonna get a happy hormone release.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
yeah, I'm trying to, like, find the joy in the little stuff. So, the other day, I posted a picture of my clean sink. I did the dishes on my own, no one even had to
Yeah.
tell me. I was pretty proud of myself. And it does feel good when it's done, and so I try to remember that feeling, not
Mm.
the actual work, because I don't like the work, but, like, the feeling of, "Okay, I completed something," and I'm getting better at that. It's just not my default, that's
Right.
not how I've been. Uh, let's look at this reading a little bit more.
How many like cards or whatever or
Mm, it just depends on the reading.
okay.
So, I don't remember how many are in a tarot deck. I wanna say
I
72,
had
but I
no
could be
idea.
totally wrong.
Oh yeah, so don't ask
Um,
me.
what's that?
I said, don't ask me. I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, no, I don't remember exactly. I wanna say 72, but I could be totally wrong. But then as I'm doing a reading, I just put them down and, like, I can put down 1 and it talks to me right away. I could put down, like, 3 or 4 and they kind of paint a picture for me that way. So there's really not a set amount. I've
Yeah.
I've had readings where it's my entire desk, 3 different decks,
Oh,
just
okay.
a lot of information there. And then I've had some where we put down just a handful, and it still is very descriptive of the energy and of what's going on.
Okay.
What I'm
What
getting
kind
right
of
now is maybe like more of a focus on finances and not necessarily, I want to say, okay, finance is not necessarily money, more so the resources that you need to day by day, just the stuff that has to be there. So, I mean, it could be anything from what they're showing me is like going to the grocery store so you have food, going to get gas so you can get around, going like all of the things that keep life running is how that feels.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if, while you were talking about even just like the things you have to do and
Mhm.
how yeah, productivity is not at the top of your list.
No.
It's almost saying, but go back to the basics. Like that is most like the suggestion for if you're sitting still otherwise, it's okay to go back to the basics and just I keep getting this idea of like romanticizing your life, of just being happy with doing the bare minimum. You know,
I
like
mean, I could, but
yeah.
that's not who I am. Like, there are people who do live here doing the bare minimum, and they're perfectly happy with it, and it's great for them. And I'm not that person. Like, I want a little bit extra. Like,
Yeah.
so,
And I think that's okay. But it's more of like I said, that going back to basics feeling, this, mm, let's see, what is that? How do I explain that? Give me the words. Give me the words. Well, there's another feeling that I'm getting, and I can't quite put my finger on it, and that's what I'm trying to sort out. Okay. Okay, well, the phrase that's coming up next is more so of, well, we already talked about that. So, like
is it
the
about
feeling of being
roots, maybe?
what?
Going back to your roots, maybe not back to basics, but back to the beginning, like circling around.
Mm, maybe because it feels like we had talked about earlier of focusing on what you do have and
Uh-huh.
finding joy in that. Like focus on what you have. I know you were starting to say the quote earlier of like gratitude isn't what you want, but it's what you have, or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
something I
Like
read something and I was like, "Oh,
right,
that's nice." I was like, "I need to
yeah,
remember that when I'm feeling
and
pissy."
I think that's what this is reiterating. So not necessarily going to chase something brand new and sparkly and bigger and better, but also just finding the actual joy, happiness, and gratitude in the fact that you can go and buy groceries. You can go and, like you're still able to do all of the basics, and it's okay to be at a place where you're not expecting life-changing stuff right now.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
okay to
nothing.
just kind of lower your expectations a little bit. Does
Yeah,
that
it's
make
like
sense?
it's like slowing down. It's like putting on the brakes a little bit. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like to me.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like
It's so
everything is slowing down.
it makes me think about someone said people work hard so they can afford things to like go camping or an RV. And it's like how stupid of us to work hard, make this money just to go sit in a circle around a campfire and not, like and not work. That is funny to me because I also saw the story of this lady who was interviewed, lived off grid, had no electricity. The interviewer was there and watched her start a fire. And she's like, I have to start the fire every morning and I keep it going. That's how I cook. That's how I stay warm. And the guy goes, wow, that's a lot of hard work to start a fire every day. Like that feels like a lot. And she goes, and yet you go to work for 8 hours a day, sit in front of a computer, and that's all so you can flip a switch. Like, which one's the
Right.
real
Right.
hard work? And that's, I think, is what this reading is coming back to of like, it's okay to just go back to the roots, go back to the basics. So if there's there's if you can cut out some steps and still find joy, I think
Mhm.
that's where it's living for you. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
That does make sense
Okay.
to me because it's like there's been some people who are perfectly fine people. I'm just like, ugh, I don't really want to hang out with you anymore. Like,
Sure.
it's like they did nothing wrong. It's not like a huge
Right.
friend blowout or anything. It's just like,
Right.
I just no, you're
Yeah.
tiring.
Yeah, it's like and I don't wanna say we outgrow people, and that doesn't fit for that type of scenario where it just stops resonating.
Yeah.
They are not my tribe anymore when it gets to that. I've had a few friends, that I've had that experience with over the years, and it's not that anyone did anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that we're not talking the same language anymore. We're not on the same page anymore.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how this feels is like, don't, there's not a need to perform to be
Yeah.
happy. For like in this reading specifically for you, that's I think the message coming through more than anything. You don't have to have the big, great career to be happy. You don't have to have big social status to be happy. It's coming back to I'm I'm healthy, I'm safe, I have food, my family is intact. Like that's where the happiness, joy, and contentment is hiding for you. And I would say hiding like you can't find it, but we might be looking externally, but it's really close to home. Does that
Yeah,
make
okay.
sense?
That does make perfect sense because it's like, okay, back in the COVID days, you remember back in those days,
Yeah.
there was I had this okay, I wasn't with my partner yet, it was just me and my son, and he was going through it hard because he was real little. He was like 9 maybe, and
Yeah.
the COVID was very confusing to him, and I remember, because we had some very hardcore lockdown situations over here where
Yeah.
we literally had to, like, have authorizations to leave our houses for and walk more than 1
Yeah.
kilometer, and I remember I was like, "Okay, I'm sort of stuck in this apartment with my kid. He's losing his damn mind. How am I gonna keep from losing mine?" You know? And I somehow, got on this, like, I don't even know how I found it or where it came from, but it was like some gym somewhere in the United States had started putting, like, Zumba classes online for free or
Yeah.
whatever, and there was this one song, okay, this is so stupid. Um, uh, the name of the song is by Dua Lipa, and it's like, "We found love in a hopeless place."
Yeah.
And I think that maybe the song is about a romantic relationship or whatever, but back in the day, I was like, "Okay, like, the love is right here. This is a hopeless
Yep.
place already. Like, the COVID times, like, we can't go anywhere. We're all stuck. We're all miserable. Everybody's worried about everything,
Yep.
and I have to find the love right here. Like, it has
Yeah.
to be right here." And it was
Yes, that's the
weird.
feeling that's coming up in the reading, 100%. And
And
I
and
think also we're conditioned to think that the more achievements we hit externally, the happier we'll be. But that's not always the
yeah.
case. I think I'm kind of going through the same type of realization in my own life where, yeah, we want the big house, we want the nice car, and that it's a very American type desire. But I have a husband who loves me, whether we bicker and fight and everything else on the regular basis or not. Like, our love is still very solid. My kids are healthy. I
Mhm.
have grandkids that, like I have
Oh,
relationships with
you
my
have
kids and their
grandkids?
kids. Yeah. Oh, we have 5 between the 2 of us.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that the reading has kind of brought back just to like really focus on the positives right now.
Mm,
Really just focus on the family that you do have or the health that you have. Like you said, you're sitting still and you're just being, but
mm,
it's okay to be happy there, feel content there.
yeah.
And that's the message that keeps coming through. So,
Well, that's what I'm working on, and it's been kind of funny because there's been a couple of my work colleagues that were seeing me go through something, and they had like, the folks who always have the nice suggestions. They want to give you some
yeah,
advice, and you're like, "Thank
yeah,
you, no." And uh, your advice is terrible. Please keep walking.
right.
But, like, you can't say that, or at least I didn't because I was being polite. But, like, one guy's advice was basically like, I needed to work harder at stuff, and I was like, "Absolutely not."
Right. Was he older?
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then
Yeah.
a lady's advice was that I need to be less emotional about stuff, and I was like, "Absolutely not."
That's crazy.
And I was like,
And
well,
that's
she barely knows me, so she doesn't realize that this is impossible for me to be less
right.
emotional,
But
like,
also I feel like someone told them that at some point in time and they felt like that was the appropriate advice to pass on. And
yes,
so they've
exactly.
been living in that space where they push through, work harder, or where they push emotion down and they don't process it. and I can
This is
probably guarantee that their nervous systems are just as shot.
well,
Like
that's
that
why
just doesn't make sense.
basically it was one of those months where I was like, okay, I gotta have neutral face. Like, don't give away what you're actually thinking. I was like, oh, thank you very much. I'm gonna try to do
Right?
that. That's really good advice. Like, and then as soon as I turned around, I was like, what? No way. I'm not
Yeah.
terrible advice.
That's I will
Work
say
harder and
I
shove your
really
emotions in a hole. Thanks.
yeah, like I really like that the new wave of self-awareness type of work is becoming more popular. Like it's becoming more acceptable to do work on yourself. I I've always wanted to love therapy, let me put it that way, but I've never found a therapist that worked for me. I have recently, and it's really nice to just kind of have that process in place so I can be a better person for the people around me. I'm not trying to solve anything. I'm not trying to fix anything. I just want a
Mhm.
place where I can regulate those emotions and not take it out on someone in my family. And the more that I do that, the more happy I am with my people around me. And I feel like that alone is just more acceptable these days. And I don't have to push
Yes.
down my emotions. I don't have to push through it anymore. It's very I don't know, it just feels like if I miss I'm 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 switching from weekly to biweekly therapy appointments right now,
Mhm.
and I'm really interested to see how that goes because even though I don't have something huge and traumatic every week to talk about, it's nice just having that place to vent. And
Right.
so I'm interested to see how one week off is gonna change my I don't know, emotional stability with everyone else around me.
Right.
We'll see how it goes.
Well,
But
I'm not, therapy is a hard thing over here because it has to be done in French. And I find
yeah,
the process of translating from English to French, just
yeah,
that part already is about half the therapy for me.
yeah,
Just, just because I have to literally put words to it.
yeah,
Whatever emotion or whatever thing I'm feeling, I have to put the words on it, the thoughts on it in
yeah.
English, and then figure out how to say that thing. And I've found that there are certain expressions that sound not so harsh. Like, you know how people will sort of jokingly say in America, like, "Oh God." People are like, "How are you saying it?" And if it's somebody you really know, you can say something dramatic like, "Oh, well, I didn't throw myself off a bridge, so we're good." You know?
Right, right,
Well, this does not translate well into French, and they are like shocked. They're like, "Oh my God, are you suicidal? Do you need help?" Like they go straight into
right,
like, "Here's a toll-free number to call. Like, do you need this
right.
helpline?" Like, I'm like, "No, it's kind of a joke," but then it's like it is a dark joke. I realize that, but like, like so the translation sometimes is about half the work I need to do,
Yeah,
and sometimes like I'm supposed to be seeing like a new person on the 25th of February. I don't know
yeah,
her from Adam. I don't know how she's going to be.
right,
I'm apprehending. I don't really want to go, but it's like, I kind of need to. Maybe she'll be fun.
right.
I used to have one that spoke English, and that was really good. And the English was very high quality English, and that was good for me.
Nice,
It
yeah,
was very handy because when I got stuck in French, I could switch. And
yeah,
then it was like a big,
back on
like,
track.
we worked it out together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that
yeah.
person has
I think
retired.
that's fascinating that you mention the translation in your own head to go from English to French before you ever share that with someone else is
Right.
already very helpful for you. And I think that a lot of the issues that people have with processing emotion anyways is not being able to identify it.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I have to
And so you're
identify it.
already doing that work.
I have to.
You have to figure out exactly what word you need to use in order to convey the feeling. And
Exactly.
that's such a big step for people that we aren't openly taught, even in
No,
our own
we never taught
language,
that.
you know?
No, we're
So I
not.
think that's fascinating.
Well,
That
it's the thing that I had to learn how to do myself because I was like, it's like, all this back in the day, it was a lot of rage. It's not so much
yes.
rage. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, just so frustrated, just rage, and I was just like so angry at everybody and everything because I couldn't. get it out. And so I was like,
Yep.
okay, this has to get out or else I'm going to just hit people.
Well, it's no different than like a toddler who's having a tantrum because they
That's
don't have the
exactly right.
words to express it. And I
Exactly.
find as I get into, my mid to late 40s and all my hormones are doing all the wonderful things that they're
Mhm.
doing, I'm
Mhm.
finding that rage again.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm feeling. And I don't know how to express it safely without hurting everyone's feelings. I
And
I
you're
can
ugly
lash
and
out aggressively.
stupid. And
But, I have to and I think that's why therapy has been helpful for me this time around because I can tell her how stupid I think everyone else is being, and she just sits there and she goes, "Yeah, you're right. Like, that sounds really frustrating." And
Mhm.
I don't need to fix it. Like, I have the tools to be better on my own. That's what I've done for so many years is a self-development type stuff. And so to have someone just agree with me, to validate me, to say, "Yeah, I hear you." Like, dump it out. Let's talk if we need to talk about individual stuff. But otherwise, yeah, that sounds really frustrating. And that I joke that my appointments are 45 minutes of me just verbally, spewing everything. And then at the end she goes, "Yeah, okay, that sounds about right." And then we're done with the appointment.
You're like, "Well, I feel better. Indigestion, come
Yeah.
on."
And she and I have had this conversation. She's like, "Do you feel like this is really the most helpful for you?" I'm like, "Right now, yeah." And as I talk things through, there's probably going to be stuff that I need feedback on, like real, like help me work through this. And so we're getting to that point now where there are things I've shared with her, and I'm like, "Ooh, that one hurt a little bit more than I thought it did," saying it out loud. And so
Oh,
then we'll go back and start talking about that stuff that pops up. It's been a different experience. I also intentionally found someone who was a little bit older than me
okay.
because I've had therapists who were younger than me. I've had therapists who are the same. And I'm like, no, I need someone who has a little bit more of that lived experience too and can relate to where I'm at right now. I think it's helped significantly. But
Mhm.
therapy is like shoes. You have to find the right pair for you. You have to find the
Yeah.
right fit.
That's why I'm like, this thing, I was
I
like, I
know.
need to do it, but I don't really wanna. And it will eventually be good for me, but it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I applaud you because that language barrier alone would be enough to keep most people away. And I think the willingness to go about the discovery even through the language barriers really admirable.
well,
So,
thank you. But like for me, I don't feel it. Again, it's like I didn't feel like I was being brave on that subway in Mexico City. But like I don't feel that this is an admirable thing I'm doing. It's just like it has to go somewhere. It can't stay in here.
yeah.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
well, what are my choices? Either I just start hitting random strangers at the grocery store, or I find somebody to talk to.
Yeah. I get that. We joke at work that we want to go to a rage room
Oh,
because now they
I
have
thought about making one of those over here for people. I'm like,
right.
French people need this because they're very precious.
Contained, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that would really diffuse my rage. I feel like it would just make it worse.
Oh,
So,
okay.
because I don't know, I've just always been a very angry person inside, and people wouldn't guess that, I think,
No.
talking to me in outside, but man, I'm, like, really cranky internally.
I
I,
it's like an
when I
oyster ground
drank
situation.
Yeah, when I drank, I was always either very, very flirty or very angry, and I would
Okay.
fight
Just
grown
opposite.
men. So it was like one or the other. Yeah. I am a Gemini, so, we have both
Okay.
sides.
That's
But yeah,
brilliant.
it was either fighting or flirting, no in between.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. That's pretty amazing. But like,
It's better
I
yeah, it's
guess
better that I
I think
stopped
I think that a
altogether.
reach room that might actually help me because I would focus. I'd be like, okay, and this vase right here is that one guy that one day that wronged me. Like I would assign uh
Yeah,
roles to each thing that I would smash.
right. Yeah.
And but I would say it out loud to myself. Like I would walk around the rage room and like touch things and name them. Like, okay, this old TV is
Jerk Bob.
that one boss at work that did that shitty thing. I feel like I would have a whole process and it would become super weird to watch. But
Luckily, I don't think there's an audience when you do something like that,
thank God. I've
but
seen like people do film each other in rage rooms sometimes.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
safe?
I think everyone has goggles on, a
Okay.
hard hat,
Okay. I
yeah,
was like,
maybe
it's like this
gloves.
seems unsafe.
No. Yeah. Oh, it's too funny. Okay, so the real theme, I think, overall for your reading was to focus on what you do have, rather than looking for that external achievement, validation, excitement, but bring it back home. Like bring
Yeah.
that search back to back to the basics. Like that literally just keeps popping up in my head, just back to the basics. You're safe, healthy and loved, and
That's
that's what
most
matters
important.
most. I
Exactly.
think anything above and beyond that is just for joy, just for fun.
Hmm.
It really feels like if you're seeking things, it should be just without intention of being productive or without intention of earning something or,
Yes.
being real just kind of like, I don't want to say carefree, but in a sense of just not having a purpose for anything. Like just do it just
Yeah.
because it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that I absolutely get that. What was I gonna say? Oh, I did have a question for you. So, my only knowledge of any of this kind of readings or anything has come from movies and TV shows that I've watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they always do the thing where they like dramatically turn the card over and then announce like it's the two of whatever's or something, and that means something something. And like I don't even
Yeah.
know what you're looking at. It's kind of funny to me because I'm like, this is not at all like TV. You laugh
No,
and joke too, but it's just like that's the
let me
only
see
basis.
I'm gonna try to move my phone and
Okay.
show you what because it's not that
Okay.
not that dramatic. There we go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And so I just lay them out to where I can kind of read them. It doesn't really mean anything to me,
Okay. Okay.
but
So it's
that's
not
it.
there's not like a set form. It's got to make a cross or something or whatever. Like
Some people do. I just don't.
I have, and I have done zero research. I came into this knowing nothing and seeking nothing.
Yeah. No, not it's not anything dramatic. There are cards that you put them down and like, "Oh my gosh, it's the star card." And then I don't know. That's just not my style.
Okay.
I do know, especially like on TikTok or, when people are doing live readings
Oh, I
for
don't
an
even have
audience.
TikTok.
Okay, yeah. You're not missing out on much these days. But there are people who will go live and get people from the viewers online to ask questions and am I getting back with so and so? Does so and so love me? And it's that kind of stuff. And they're like,
God,
"Oh, it's
like
this
I'm magic
card."
eight
And
ball.
yeah, I'm like, that's great for if you're 15, 18 years
Mhm.
old, but 40-ish-year-old women don't really care about, does so and so still like me? We're beyond that. Like
Yeah.
it's just not how it goes. So I don't typically do like the drama readings. That's just
Okay.
not my
Good. I'm
it's
glad
very
because I was kind of like, oh no, what am I doing?
no, 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 no. I'm just not like, and I don't do doom and gloom in general. For me, it's a
Okay.
very explorative process of what can I learn from this? How
Okay.
can I be a better person after this reading? Like, what do I need to know that I'm missing? That's how I do readings for people. If there's something specific, like a very specific topic that they're wanting insight on. Okay, so you don't know if you should move in with your long-term boyfriend, or you don't know if it's the right time for that. Okay, so let's put down cards and see what the energy is like. If you make that decision to do that, how could this possibly go? What are you missing when you're blinded by the love? What are the things that you might not take into consideration? And I find that a lot of people are really just looking for clarity or confirmation. They might
Yeah.
know, and they're just looking for someone else to say it. I'm totally happy if someone goes, "Okay, I already knew that, but I just needed to hear someone else say it." And I'm like, "Good, then my job is done." That's what it's for. And it's
Okay.
it's just not. It's really not meant to be anything more extravagant than that. It's not gonna
Okay.
tell the future, it's not gonna unravel years of family secrets. I've had people like, "Oh, I'm so afraid of what I'm gonna find out." Like, why? Because
Oh,
it's
I
just telling us more about ourselves. It's a mirror, it's
okay.
something that we can look at and learn and progress and move forward with.
I
So
literally feel like I just goobered my way into this like I do everything else. Like,
I love it. I think that's great. I mentioned it before on another episode, but I have a friend who's in her yes era, and she just says yes to whatever people offer her
yeah,
to
that's pretty
participate
good.
in. Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay, that sounds fun." I'm still anxious about some of that. I won't always do that, but I think there's a point in time where you just kinda need to do stuff like that, just explore and find new experiences.
Mm,
And then I also use oracle decks, which are tarot has the same structure, but oracle decks are more so freestyle, I would say.
okay.
So, like, this one is the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, and each card is a goddess of some sort. So, there's no real structure other than the
Oh,
theme of the deck.
okay.
And they're very interesting. This one I like because I feel like even if people aren't necessarily, how do I want to say it, aren't multi deity type people, the goddesses are still very nice archetypes for us to learn from. And
Yeah.
so I would like to pull one of these cards at the end of every reading. So
Okay.
let's see who your goddess is.
Okay, cool, please. I love goddesses.
I know I'm going to ruin this name. Abundantia. And hold on, I need to pull out the little book for this, which I don't do too
Not
often, but
like abundance,
here.
but with a TIA at the end?
Yeah,
Okay. Huh.
there's Abundantia. Okay. A beautiful Roman and Norse goddess of prosperity, success, and abundance, who is said to bring good fortune and financial windfalls to all who call upon her. She carries a cornucopia.
Cornucopia. Oh, like at
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
that word.
At
I can't
Thanksgiving. That's
I
okay.
can't read, but I so of golden coins which trail behind her wherever she goes. One sign that she is with you is that you'll find lots of spare change in unlikely locations. That's awesome. So the card is prosperity. That's what the meaning of the card
I'm
is.
fine with that.
And the little saying that goes with it is the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving.
I'm trying.
I
I'm
know.
trying. Trying my best. I'm sitting right here. I'm not
That's
moving too much.
but also I feel like very often we think abundance equals money
No.
when really it means
Health,
everything.
happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
Exactly. So that ties in with what we were just talking about in the reading itself.
for me, I will admit a point of abundance that has become it's sort of new because like I said, my son's a teenager and like he's doing this internship thing next week that's part of his schooling. Even at the age of 15 years old, that's how they do things over here. So not for every kid, but anyway, and so I told him, I was like, today we need to go to the grocery store and get you like your lunch, your sandwiches and whatever for your whole, for the internship. And then I took coming back from the grocery store. I don't know. I had a brain fart. I just went the wrong direction leaving the grocery store, and so we ended up taking the like just driving, all around because I just was like, "Whoa." And
Yeah.
then, but I had a moment where he was just like chit chatting with me in the car, and I was like, man, I'm so glad we didn't take the quick way home. Like,
Yeah.
like he was like, how many 15-year-old boys just have like chat sessions with their moms? Like,
Right.
I was just
Well,
like,
and I think like
what's
the more that
happening?
you
What's up?
cultivate that, yeah, the more that you cultivate that, the more it'll happen, right? Showing him that it's safe to talk to you about all that stuff. And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, abundance can be applied there too,
I mean,
connection
it was
or
so nice, and it was just like it just like poured out. It wasn't anything
Mhm.
serious. It was just like
Right.
garbage 15-year-old chit chat. But it was like
Yeah.
he was telling me about some of his friends, something. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what we talked about. But it was just like I was driving. I was like, oh crap, we went the wrong way. And then he was just like blah blah blah, blah just chit chat. And
Yeah.
then we were home. Then we were home, and I was like, oh, it's over. Oh no. So anyway, yes, that was like a moment of abundance that I wasn't like expecting or whatever. But It was
Yeah.
there and it felt really nice, and I'm gonna have to take wrong roads more often.
Oops. Yeah. Oh, darn.
Whatever. That's not the right way.
The other oracle deck that I like to pull from is called the Wild Offering Oracle. And this one is just little reminders of how we can, I think of it as simplifying life, but let's see what this one says.
Okay.
This one says, despair. I need your divine intercession right now, O Great Spirit. Lift this darkness from my soul, free me from this burden, open me to your highest plan. May I be peaceful, may I be a peaceful vessel for your love. So
Oh,
whatever your higher power is, right, can be what I get from that is like I know I personally deal with a lot of like mental health issues, depression,
mhm.
and when I'm so stuck in myself, I don't have room for the goodness of life to come in, you
Right.
know. And I feel like that's what this card is about
Okay.
is getting out of my own way so that my higher power can bring in all of the good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that one hits. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Especially if you're in a place of uncertainty right now. You
Yeah,
know,
because
that's
the standing in your own way is really hard to see.
yes. Yes.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and you're right about the like, just say yes to some things. It's kind of like normally you might have said no, but maybe this time you say yes.
Well, and then doing it without expecting a certain outcome
Right.
too.
Also, yes.
Right. You know, a lot of times I'll be involved in something with the anticipation of it. Maybe I'll meet some new friends, or maybe I'll make some money off of that, or maybe I'll, no, how about I just do it because it sounds fun? You know,
Hmm.
that's hard for me because I naturally am this person that's like, it has to be productive or else it's not going to
Oh,
be useful.
yeah. I let that
Yeah.
one go. I used to have that problem, and then I just like because the this is again living in another culture because over here some days you can fight your best to be productive and it is not happening and so you must
Yeah.
let it go that day and so it's like one of those where it's like this culture has trained me to just be like nope. It's like when I
That's
said
all.
with the bad weather, the roads that have been closed or whatever, it's just like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm not even gonna, like, I maybe need to go to the grocery store, but I'm not going to today. Like, there's no point. Like, nope. We'll just, no, let me look in the freezer and see if we got anything we can eat, you know?
Yeah. I like that though. I know in Norway, like Sundays, basically everything's shut down.
Yes. Same here.
That
Same.
yeah. So you can't. You're forced to relax on Sundays.
Yes, because the
Mm.
point is you need to hang out with your people. The
Yeah.
goal over here is like Sunday is like the joke is that that's the day you walk your dog and your grandparents. Well, you take them
I
for a
love
walk.
that.
And so I guess you don't walk your grandparents, but you know what I mean. Like you take the
You're
dog for a
right.
walk, you take your grandparents for a walk. Like that's the day that all the
Yeah.
old people, the grandparents and children hang out with their families. Like it's the
I
family
love
day.
that.
It's not so much wrapped up
I
in religion. Like in the South,
right.
we have the like Jesus
Church,
and church,
family.
yeah,
Yeah.
church and family and stuff. And over here, it's like it's all the family stuff and all the important things, but just without the burden of religion.
That I like the way you say that.
Well,
That's
that's the
awesome.
way I live it. Like
Yeah.
I never. It was one of those things. I was like. I remember having to get dressed up every Sunday when I was a little girl and put on like nice clothes that somebody ironed that were uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
for what? Because does Jesus care if
To
I've got on my
perform.
new pink dress? Like he does not.
Yeah.
Jesus does not care. Like and
Yeah.
Jesus is supposed to love me no matter how I am. So why am I putting this crap on?
Yep.
So it
Yep.
was one of those
I
where it was like
totally agree.
thi- things never made sense to me on the organized religion standpoint
Yeah.
since forever. And so over
Yeah.
here, I like that it's like they've really taken, it's like they've got all the family values stuff, but without we got to go to church first and do all this.
Right.
And like, I'm not knocking on anybody who loves their church and a good sermon and whatever. And it's like, whatever, that do your thing,
Right.
fine, go. It's like if people do want to go to church, you can, whatever. And the same, it's like if you want to go
Right.
to a mosque or a temple or whatever, that's fine, do it. But like over here, what I really appreciate is that most French people, Sunday is the day where you're like you do some sport. you hang out with your family. If it's a beautiful day and you want to take a walk, or you got a grandparent somewhere who hasn't been out all week long, like that's when you go pick
Yeah.
them up and drive them somewhere nice, and you all eat ice cream
Yeah.
together or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just
That's
chill, and I
awesome.
like that. Yeah, I really like that. That's one of those things that I've always really liked about the Sundays here. But I forget that it's like I've forgotten how it is in American culture, and so I forget that when Americans come over, they're like on a Sunday, they're like, where can I go buy a whatever, whatever. I'm like, you can't
Right.
sit down, wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, and that's how we are when we visit. We know, just to expect a day at home, but
Yeah,
when we leave the first few times, we're like, "Okay, let's go do something." You know,
yeah.
"What do we get to do today?"
You
And
get to
it's
do some
just not.
sporting activities. Like, do you have a fishing
Yeah,
pole or a bike? That's what you get to do.
right. Yeah, go for a walk. It's just nice to not have that pressure of being productive.
And the thing is that even like the going for a walk, it doesn't even have to be like it doesn't have to be like a hike. It doesn't have to be an organized walk.
Right.
It can be like a stroll by the
Down the street.
seaside. You can walk from the
Yeah,
carousel where the 3-year-old took a ride to the ice cream stand at the other end so that grandpa
yeah,
can have an ice cream, and that's your walk. You know, like
yeah.
I like
That's
the chill factor of it. Like I really do. And tomorrow, yeah,
that's
tomorrow
wonderful.
is Sunday. So our
Yeah,
typical routine on a Sunday, he has 2 TV shows that he likes on Sunday. One of them is all about cars.
yeah,
Okay. One of them is all about like soccer. Okay.
yeah,
I just do not care about
yeah.
either of those. And he is like, this is like his like, yay, it's Sunday. I get to watch my
Right.
shows. And then
Yeah,
tomorrow I'm trying a new thing. I planned like a yoga class with some lady who was like trying to open up her own yoga studio or whatever in
yeah,
the area, and she's like literally the town right over from me. It's like a 5-minute drive on a Sunday at 10, and I'm just like, yeah, I got nothing going on Sunday. It's like I'll go,
yeah.
so, so I go check that out, see how this is,
That'll
and
be fun.
I mean, yes, and it's even if it's not great, then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I did something new today, and then I'll go home and I'll
Right.
chill, and that's it.
That's so cool. I love that. Well, thank you so much
No
for
problem.
being
Thank
on the
you.
show with me.
I'm glad
This
I
is
got to
great.
do it. Tried
I
myself new
love
today.
just yeah, and well, I love just learning so much about life in another country, but also from your perspective as an American. Like it's
Yeah.
really interesting to hear the contradictions or how they're similar in some ways. But more importantly, I think I also needed to hear the message in your reading too.
Yeah.
Focus
Thanks. Yeah, the
on what
same.
what we have. So I love it. Thank you so
Okay.
much, and
Thank
I hope
you.
you have a
And
great evening.